Welcome back, everyone. It is January 4th, 1942, and our continuing conflict over the Pacific theater of the war. Start out with a little bit of sub-action with anti-submarine warfare near Guam. I have a sub here kind of checking out what's unloading there, and they get caught by that anti-submarine warfare attack. So I'll move that sub out a little bit further away so that it tries to intercept ships in open water, rather than going after the hex itself. I find subs are much more vulnerable. I think it's because it's shallow water. In ports like that, actually at the base hex, they usually do better operating right outside of it. One of our subs spots task force. Looks like this task force actually spots the sub. And we're on to the air phase, starting out with some sweeps on Cyan. Yesterday I talked about the need to defend Cyan because it's in that clear terrain, which means bombing is going to be very effective. And I kind of vacillated on it, whether to move a lot of air assets there to try to prevent that bombing. But at the end of the day, I decided that I just couldn't contest with those sweeps. I do have an anti-aircraft artillery unit, one of the few that the Chinese get in the hex, so we're gonna let it do the work. We're gonna take some damage at the field, on our troops, on our airfield, but I just don't see a way to keep cap over the hex with zero sweeping it with poor Chinese planes without taking huge losses. So we're not gonna do that right now. We'll wait till we get some better planes and maybe revisit it then, but for now, we're just going to let it go. And that's why you don't see anything intercepting these zeros here. Another sweep on Wincao, and on Quang and on Singapore. So he's covering his bases here, making sure that I don't put up air cover again. Only a couple lilies, not doing a whole lot. So Sally's going after some of my troops up here in the mountains. I think this is a unit that had been trashed pretty badly in a previous turn by this group right here. And I lose more squads up here. It's already really damaged, very high disablements, which is why I think he's having so much success. Another sweep on Cyan. And on Wincao. Oh, and a big bombing group coming in. Look at that, 52 Sallies, 14 Lilies coming in to bomb Singapore. But look at their altitude, 23,000 feet. Despite the size of that raid, they do really minimal damage. And that's just because they can't be accurate at that altitude. If he had put them even at 15,000 feet, I think I would have suffered a lot more there. Lily's coming after Quang Chowan. Really not worried about that anymore. It's just a isolated hex. It's not providing me any strategic value, so if he wants to trash the airfield there, that's fine. Here he goes after Cyan. Some damage to my airbase, supply, and runway. He's at 13,000 feet, so he takes a little bit of damage with those Sallies due to flak, but doesn't do too much damage. 13,000 feet, though, I think that's a good altitude for him. If he can get more planes to the hex at that altitude, that'll probably start to rack up the damage. He's going after Quang Chowan. And here he's doing that city attack again, probably going after my light industry. 17 damage though. That's I would actually raise these up a little bit so he's not right in the thick of that flak. Alright, so my BR-697s do good work over Chainsaw, taking out a couple of lilies. Some more runway bombing at Guam, to be expected. And we're into the afternoon phase of air operations. So yesterday, like I said, I put a whole lot of cap back in the Philippines because I didn't see any sweeps going there anymore in the hopes of downing some bombers. I did not expect the large amount of escorts that he brought. He hasn't been bringing that many escorts recently, so I was hoping to catch these bombers unescorted. Obviously that didn't happen. We'll see if we can actually get through to these Betties and do some damage on these bombers as well. Yes, we do make contact. Take out a few Betties. We lose 3 Buffaloes, but take out 3 Zeros and 3 Betties. It's okay trade. I don't know if it was worth moving these units there, but kept him on his toes, I suppose. Have another attack here, this time on Bataan. Warhawks not faring well against these Zeros at all. Oh, they really do well against those Betties. I lose 2 Warhawks, but take out 8 Betties and a Zero. Definitely a trade that I'm okay with making. Oh, so he has a task force here. Looks like he may have cap coming from Miri, as well as... Looks like he had some roofs, as well as Zeros as well. In any case, it's well protected, and I'm not able to do any damage there. Some swordfish coming in, they're unescorted, so they're going to get wiped out pretty easily by those escorting Zeros. Another attack at Guam, does no damage. Looks like we have a sub near Makassar. Delivered attack. This is just my headquarters unit, so it's going to get wiped out. Does not get wiped out, which always surprises me. Some of these headquarters units, for whatever reason, instead of retreating or being destroyed, they just really stick around for a long time, even with overwhelming odds. They don't have any attack value, so they're not going to do any damage. They're just kind of like cockroaches that stick around for a long time. It can be hard to eliminate. And a bombardment at Guam. One thing, I wonder if we'll see, I expect to see an amphibious invasion down here, but it looks like he may have backed it off. That's the one that we hit with the dive bombers yesterday, and it looks like he said, hey, maybe the Port Moresby area, it's a little too hot right now, so he backed it off, which is a disappointment. I think I would have been able to sunk some ships if he continued to go for it. I also had a couple of destroyers ready to get among those invasion forces as well, because he didn't have much surface cover there. But bombardment Guam, you can see his assault value climbing compared to where it was yesterday, and that's just because he's allowing his troops to not attack for a few turns and build back up their AV, repair their disablements, and that's going to serve him well when he attacks the next time. That looks like the turn. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the Discord. Thank you so much.